Hello, my name is Jiran Master and I'm from HRClarity.ai by Zathistera. So today I'm going to talk to you about the future of AI in HR recruitment. Now, you all know that artificial intelligence, AI, is revolutionizing many industries, including HR recruitment. And AI technologies can automate manual tasks, increase efficiency, and make better predictions than humans alone. However, not all software programs out there are AI. So today we're going to take a closer look at what is AI and what isn't, how it's evolving, and how to select the right AI tool, what the human role is, and the kinds of checklists that you need and how best to integrate it within HR recruitment. Like kind of summarize everything with the key steps, key things that you need to know. So first of all, what is and isn't AI? So what's not AI are standard software programs with predefined logic and rules. It's just basically automating manual tasks. It has a bit of pattern recognition without deeper understanding, randomness alone without purpose. So there's no kind of real goal there. Narrows task-specific capabilities focus on one function, pre-programmed behaviors, dynamic learning, and simulations of human thinking on computers. So a lot of the chatbots that are out there are not AI. It's simple kind of, if they say this, then do that. And if they say this, do that. Now, most of you would have realized and know if you're talking to a chatbot how frustrating it is. And you know you're talking to a really bad program. So that's not AI. And a lot of software vendors out there, they do very simple things like take averages of things and then say that's AI. It's not. A lot of very simple dashboards are not AI. A lot of dashboards, a lot of the HR software that's out there that have dashboards, a lot of the very popular stuff has no AI in it whatsoever. Doing a graph and a chart is not AI. What is AI? They're algorithms that can basically design a specific, make complex decisions and predictions by analyzing options, weighing probabilities. Machine learning systems that dynamically learn from the data. And the reason kind of program is that it's actually learning from the data and improving experience over time. Computer vision systems that can accurately identify and classify objects at human level performance, and natural language processing stuff like Chat GPT, etc. Sorry, Chat GPT, etc. Now, there's two categories of intelligence. Now, many of you will have heard of all this kind of scaremongering that AI, the dangers of AI, and all the rest of it. Now, a lot of these people who are talking about this, they actually have no idea what intelligence really is. Um, and what there is two types of this: specific intelligence and general intelligence. And the kinds of things that you see on Hollywood, like the Terminator and those kinds of movies about the future, is that you have AI that is sentient, that has general intelligence, and we are nowhere close to that. And so I'll kind of explain what is specific intelligence and general intelligence. Specific intelligence is focused on a single narrow task, like playing chess. So there is a computer program that you will all know, the uh, Big Blue, Big Blue, sorry, Big Blue, that be a chess grandmaster. But all it could do was play chess. It couldn't play anything else. It couldn't play checkers, or it couldn't play snakes and ladders. It wouldn't be. It wasn't. It wasn't trained for doing that. It could only play chess. And recently there's another program um, that can be a Go master, but that particular program played 30 million games, and if you play 10 games um, every day, every year, day in, day out, then it will take you, 10,000 years to be able to do that. And the reality is that chess master, the Go master that had been playing for about 20 years, maybe 30. So can you imagine if you're doing one thing for 100,000 years, or then of course you're going to get really good at stuff. So it doesn't really have any generalized intelligence, and most humans can learn to play a game in a couple of games. We understand what the rules are and can play reasonably well. For the best AI today, it can take thousands of them to learn to play a new game. It follows precise programming. There's a particular algorithm that it's using, and its rules defined around that particular task. It can exceed human capabilities, so AI can beat grandmasters in chess, in Go, and some of the things that it can do, it can really exceed most the average human quite easily. But it can't transfer learning from one domain to another. Everything is trained on a specific thing, right? So even ChatGPT is trained on billions of, it's well trained on Wikipedia, and it's also trained on billions of articles and information on the internet, which have been classified by a human. They've been classified by a human. Yeah, there's been all these people um, sitting and saying what is and what isn't good content. It can't. It just doesn't know. It doesn't know. It's just learning whatever you feed in, and that's what it's learning on. So the people going in and saying no, this is classifying whether this is accurate, not accurate. But it's the humans that are doing it, and they say that first, and then that's what it's based on. So that's specific intelligence. Okay, now general intelligence is quite different, right? It discerns meaning. Now even ChatGPT, right? Yeah, every word is actually a vector. It's a number. It's a long dimensional number, but so it knows that 763 is usually followed by 268, and 763 is how it's coded up this, and 268 is how it's going to is. So it knows that this is normally comes after this in certain cases, and so that's what it's doing. It just knows 763 and 268 go together. It doesn't know what 763 means or 268 means. It just doesn't know. All right. So it's translate everything into numbers. So it has we don't do that, right? We can understand what it means, what the sentence means. That ChatGPT doesn't actually do that. It mimics it. It fools us into knowing that it's general intelligence. So general intelligence has broad capabilities across many intellectual domains. It can reason, problem solve, make judgments, plan, and socialize. Now ChatGPT will give the illusion that it's reasoning. Okay, it's kind of learning that this kind of goes together and that goes together, and for the most part, it can solve most kinds of problems based on what it's been learning. Okay, um, and but it can't create stuff from nothing. It can't apply knowledge learned in one domain to another. It can't construct new theories. It only knows what you've already told it or somebody else has told it, and this does not currently exist. And the only way that it would do is that if people figured out what is it that general intelligence, the way that I define it, is extremely rare. And so here are some of the people that had that general intelligence. Most of us have specific intelligence, not general intelligence, how I've defined it. And this is 1 in 100 million people or less. So it's very rare in humans. And we don't know what causes people like this to have this kind of intelligence. We just don't know what consciousness is. We just don't know what real true intelligence is. Why is it that it only takes a human two or three ways of playing any new game, and it knows what the rules are, whereas it will take AI tens of thousands of games to learn something completely new. We just don't know. We don't understand it. So it's a long way away. Okay, so all of that rubbish that you hear about AI is a big threat, etc. Is they're kind of they're talking about, oh, it's going to become a sentient being and everything. No, that's not the threat. The threat is the general threat in any tool. So before I go into it, let me tell you what the three genres of AI have been. There was handmade, manually programmed AI systems. Then we have deep learning, statistical learning, and at the moment we've got explanatory generative models. So ChatGPT, the GPT stands for Generative Predictive Transforms, and it's really very good if you've used it. So that's kind of the current level, and it's specific intelligence. It's specific intelligence. Now the reason there is a problem with AI, and the problem that there is with any tool. Now we know internet is just amazing, right? There's so much information on there, but there's also a lot of rubbish information on there. It's because somebody's put rubbish on there. And internet has got incredible uses, but I don't need to tell you what its number one and number two uses, and it's absolutely appalling what people use that for. So it's a tool, right? A hammer is amazing at knocking in nails, but you can use a hammer to kill someone. So it's not the tool. It's not the tool that's the issue. It's the people using the tool. It's the people. It's the people that are the issue, not the tool. Okay, I can't stress that enough. So any tool, if you don't train people properly, or you give the tool to the wrong people, then you're going to get a problem. Yeah. It's a tool. All right. So all of this stuff about the problems with AI, no, it's not a problem with AI. It's a problem with people not knowing, giving AI to people in the wrong way and not using it properly. Okay, so that's a real issue. So before we get into how can you use it properly, what are the kinds of things that you could use AI for in HR recruitment? Well, you could use it to screen CVs and resumes. You can do it for sentiment analysis to kind of understand uh, how that particular person is, the way they've written the CV. You can see what their social media posts are, etc., and analyze those things. Obviously, given if they're giving you consent to have a look at those things, to see the potential fit and role with a culture. It's actually incredibly good at identifying unconscious biases, and that's one of the things that the software that I invented, HRClarity.ai, does. It figures out if there's a bias in recruitment or in hiring or firing decisions or in promotion. It's very good for talent network sourcing. It can very be good in terms of much better in terms of candidate matching. And it's also very good interview analysis. If you're recording interview, you can tell whether or not give tips on helping people to be better recruiters. Also, it's not at this point yet, but a real a chatbot basically trained properly on GPT, on gender predictive transforms, can be really good, and it's incredible. Current chatbots are not like that. Okay, so this is a bit far away from that, but it can, and predictive analytics. And again, now, so there's lots of things that it can do, but here's the thing, is that you've got to be very careful when you're picking it, is that how is it that it's doing this? What is it that enables it to do it? So it's very important that there's this long checklist. There's 1 to 8 here, and there's another 7 things on there, 15 things that you need to check. First thing is, does the tool address your business needs and target use cases? So I told you that this AI is trained for sales. So you can use it to screen CVs, but you have to use AI software that was trained to screen for your use case. So if you are screening for entry level people into your organization, so people with minimal work experience, then you need an AI tool that was trained to do that. If you're recruiting for senior managers, then you can't use that same AI tool, and you can't use it for. This is one of the problems with LinkedIn and some of the screening tools that are used. They're absolutely useless for screening senior candidates. Absolutely useless. I know that for sure. And then also, if you look at C-suite, it won't work, right? So you just need to use it specifically for what it was designed for. Does it support the data types that you have? Text, image, speech. Can it take in the things that you have in the format that you have? Is it cloud based on-prem? Does that fit in with your IT strategy and IT infrastructure? Can it integrate with your IT systems? Is it does it match? If your systems are on-premise, then you need an on-premise thing. You can't have a cloud-based system. And if you've got cloud-based, you can make sure that whatever it's cloud, what if it's written on AWS, then it's matching AWS, etc., etc., etc. You need to know all that kind of stuff, compatibility. Is it easy to use? Does it make sense? Some of this stuff is really, you need a PhD of some of the things tools out there. Has it proven accuracies, speed, scalability suitable for your needs? When the models come out there, do they make sense? Do they, sometimes you can have them, the AI will generate something, and it's just generated it, but you need to check whether or not what it's generated makes sense or not, and that makes sense, explainability. And you've got to check that there aren't any kind of biases in how it's been trained. And we talk a little bit more about that. There is that so in that one celebrate case in the US, police were using facial recognition, but it was trained on white Caucasians, and it's terrible at figuring out differences between African Americans, and a lot of wrongful address, just people being really stupid about it. People again, not the problem of the AI tools. They should have realised that, oh, it was only trained on that. I can't use it to do facial recognition on somebody who isn't of the type that it was trained on. So does it support? Now, model governance is monitoring and drift detection and training. Right now, that all probably sounds a little bit kind of gobbledygook, but you're just going to make sure that the way that it's learning isn't learning something down a particular wrong path. It's learning the wrong things. That's what that means. Okay. Does it meet security standards and access controls? Does it comply with GDPR and your own data regulations? Is there a tech support team that can help you answer questions in a way that makes sense to you? What about the pricing? Is a vendor going to be around? And finally, the license term. So lots of things to consider. Lots of things to consider. And you probably realize now that, OMG, I've got to know quite a lot about this. Yes. Yes, because unfortunately, companies will have got really very slick marketing and great salespeople that can sell you all kinds of stuff. So what's really important to realize is that this is a tool, okay, and you got to have it in such a way that your people can use this tool. And so it might be that your people are just not ready for the tool yet, and you got to get your people ready before you can put the tool in. Okay, so it's a and it's really important that you understand, the human role is for strategic oversight and compliance, checking that everything that comes out makes sense and is in alignment with your business ethics and compliance with your compliance protocols and those things that are laid down. You got to check that is it trained properly? Is it right? Is the data that's going into it the way it's been trained, and you're using it correctly? Are you using it appropriately? If it's trained on to help and recruit entry level, then don't use it for anything other than entry level, for example. And again, how are you using the data, and how are you processing that? And more importantly, how is it interacting with the people and other candidates, and how are you using it? How are you using the outputs of the AI to make decisions? Yeah, you don't want to be in a case of the people in the US, the police force that were using it completely wrongly and arresting wrong people just because the computer said so. That's really daft. So okay, so what can you do to mitigate against these things in there? It's incredibly powerful, but the wrong tool, the right tool in the wrong hands is wrong, and the wrong tool in the right hands is also wrong. So the right tool, right hands. So how do you go about this? So first of all, is you got to pick a use case, right? Pick one thing, right, and start one at a time. Go slow, go slow, go slow. Get it right. Learn what's going on. Set goals and success metrics for that particular use case. Get a project team which has HR people in it and knowledgeable AI experts, right? And it might be that actually your IT team doesn't have this AI expertise and it's unlikely that if the IT team has been around for a bit, unless they're constantly training and just been on an AI course and are writing AI applications, they're not going to know. No, they're not going to know. All right. So, as one of the issues with IT is I've never met an IT person who says they don't know, and most of the time they don't know. Evaluate AI solutions. Okay, so really important that you are able to figure out what is the truth and beyond the marketing smoke and mirrors and the slick salespeople. Start with limited scope pilots. Okay, and then start small. Make sure it works. Make sure you understand everything, what's going on, how it's doing, and then expand to other areas. Go slowly. Go slowly. Go slowly. Six, integrate. Make sure that it works together with other process systems. Now, you might have to redesign some of the processes to take full advantage of AI and stuff. So, that you might well to need to do that. And then finally, develop guidelines and training as appropriate. Monitor and audit performance and gather feedback. Okay, so those are the 10 steps. So in conclusion, right, there's a lot of things there that I've covered in there, and so I hope you're realizing that it's incredibly powerful, but it's not so straightforward. It's not so straightforward, and it's I would really strongly urge that um, you take time to get your team trained on this and really understand what it is that you're getting yourself into, and don't fall for slick marketing or sales, right? So most importantly, you're going to partner with AI. Yeah. So what are you going to do? What AI is going to do? What is it? What isn't it? Make sure you've planned exactly how the implementation is going to go, how you do all the stuff. Make sure you've got people who understand what's going on at each step. There's quite a bit here. It's all new, so it is a very shiny new toy. But you've got to get your people up to speed first, and really importantly, okay, is it's very powerful. But if you don't have your people trained properly, it can lead to issues. Thank you for allowing me to talk a little bit about AI and HR recruitment. I hope you got something out of this presentation. Thank you very much. And I don't know if I've got time for questions now, but it's been a real joy to give this presentation. Thank you very much. Bye.